Hi everyone, today I thought I'd show you how to do something a little bit different, and on my last video, which was this one, a simple loop fold bow, so it's this one, I used a little cutting edge that I'd made myself, which is here, out of my recycled Diet Coke Pepsi Max edition. So I thought what I'll do is I'll actually show you how to make them and how I personally use them. Now you can buy a ruler, and I do have one on order. It's basically a metal ruler similar to this one that I use for my straight edges, and it basically has all the angles and some of the curves and whatnot. But what I saw, I thought to myself, I like fancier edges like this one that I've cut here, you see, which is this one. So I basically use this to get a better edge and seal my edge with my wood burning tool rather than me trying to do it by hand. So I just place it on ribbon and then I use my wood burner to cut round it, and it sealed and curved it as I was going without me affecting it. Now the reason I've chosen the aluminium cans, because I tried with cardboard and I tried with plastic, and obviously the tip of this sort of melts the plastic, sort of burnt the wood a little bit, and it definitely burnt the card. So like I said, I thought to myself, metal edge ruler, aluminium can, let's see whether or not it worked. And it works okay. Like I said, the thing is the same with all of the sort of handmade things yourself. They work to an extent, but if you can afford to buy the tool and upgrade, I would always buy the tool instead and upgrade. Mine cost me, I think it was about £9.99. If I can find the link, I'll link it below with a picture of the ruler. I'll add that to the end of the video. Like I said, if you can afford to buy one of those instead, or you can afford to buy some of these edges, you can get them from, I think there's a couple of companies, they're not UK based, but I'll see if I can find some links. They do like a little wooden set, so if I can find them I will add them to you, but only if I can locate a source for them. But let's move these out of the way. And what I've done, and I'll show you, is obviously I've got 1.5 inch versions, which are these bigger ones here, and I've done a couple of different methods, like different cuts and things like that, so I can play around with my tails, like traditional angles, shapes, curves, spikes. So like the other thing, the fun thing is like with these, with the templates, you sort of set to what they want you to do. With these you can be a little bit more creative and do some more unique, interesting looks yourself. So if you do want to play, this is a fun way to do it without spending an awful lot of money. So I have cleaned my Pepsi Max can, and it is dry now. And what I did is I borrowed my housemate's knife, and what you do is near the top, make a cut like this, and I don't cut all the way around with this because it's quite hard. I've got a pair of sharp scissors, they're not my normal crafting ones. I'll just put that through. Cut the top off. Do be careful with this, because obviously you do get sharp edges. Don't do this around children or anywhere that's a little bit unsecure, because like I said, you get metal shavings everywhere, and I've done the same this side. And the other thing I did, especially with the base one, repeat the bottom, I can't locate it today, but I got my sandpaper out and I actually smoothed down the edges on some of it as well, just so it was a little bit safer and a little bit less rough around the edges. There we go. So take those ends off. As you can see, that was last of the water from inside the can. Still a little bit damp inside. So wipe that on tissue. And then what I've done, because obviously this is still quite curved from where it's been, I put that under a book for a bit. Let's see if I can find one. So, excuse me, my love of romance books there. So basically I put that in my book and I wedged it between a couple of books like so and left that to flatten overnight. But here's one all ready to go. And what I did is I sort of cut it down to make it a little easier to work with. It does still have a little bit of a curve with it, but like I said, the more you keep it under something to flatten, the better it is to work with. So let's just move these out of the way. Put my knife out of the way so I don't get anything. I'm just going to move this over here. You didn't see that. That wasn't my shirt, honestly. So now I've got our little piece to work with. And I've got a ruler here. So what I did is I worked out where the 1.5 inches was. Over here. And draw a line. And I'm using a permanent marker because, like I said, pen and everything else, it just doesn't write on. And I'm just going to do the same this side because I left a little bit of space, just so I can get my angle right. Okay. We're going to do the same. We're going to measure 1 inch. Line. Take your scissors. Like so. Like I said, the straighter you manage to get these and the more sort of accurate to width, the better they sort of fit against your ribbon. So there you go. And there's 2 bits to do our couple of our options. And then I like to do them about, on the 1.5 inch versions, I like to do about 4 centimetres, which is obviously the width of 1.5 inch ribbon is 4 centimetres wide. So let's cut them in half. So we've got 2 pieces, and I like to do these a little bit shorter. So obviously it's 2.5 centimetres on these, because 1 inch ribbon is 2.5 centimetres. So we might get 3 out of this one. Yeah, 3. And that's just from the width of the can naturally. Okay, obviously that one's a little bit shorter, but we can still work with that. Then you decide what kind of curve you want, whether or not you want a straight edge, whether or not you want a curve or something like that, and put whatever you want. Like I said, you can do a slight curve, you can do a deeper curve, you can do a spike, you can do whatever you want. What I do for my spikes is I fold it directly in half like so. And you cut your spike. And like I said, the best thing about this is you can adjust them for how deep you like them. So if you want a soft slant spike like so, you do it this. If you want a little bit deeper, just do a deeper cut like so. And obviously that one's a much sharper point than that version. So like I said, you can completely play around and, like I said, make them completely unique to yourself. Like I said, with this one, do something a little bit fancier. There we go. So we've got a nice scalloped edge, angled one there. There we go. soft curve. Straight angle. Again, if you want to do like a circle end, curved end, you can fold it in half again, curve it round, open it up. Like I said, you've got a nice rounded edge, and like I said, you can do whatever shapes you want on them. You can play around everything. And the other thing is the base that we saw earlier. I cut that down as well, and this is really good for edges. And all I've done is, on the version that I've got compared to what we saw earlier, you see here the edges are quite sharp. I got a nail file, an old nail file, because I couldn't find my sandpaper at the time then either, and sort of roughed it down until it was a bit smoother, and I've got no chance of cutting myself or anything like that on that. So now to show you actually how it works on ribbon. So I've got this little 1-inch piece of ribbon. Let's get some of my 1-inch styles. And I will show you. And you can do these for all sizes. You can do 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever you personally prefer, and just play around. So the first one, place it where you want your curve to be. Take your wood burner, and this is on a glass cutting board. This is a tempered glass kitchen board, because again, if you're not one for using these on a regular basis, craft boards can be quite expensive. So if you just want to play around and you're not sure if you want to commit, these ones that you might already have in the kitchen are a great alternative until you can afford a craft board. So there you go, you get a nice curved edge. It's all sealed. There you go. I'll do a more angled version. Let's cut this. This is just one of my scraps, by the way. So take another one, place it against ribbon. What I like to do is hold it with a couple of these clips so it doesn't slip when I'm cutting, like so. There you go. Nice curved little angle. Got this one, that shape we just made. Again, pop it a little bit down where you want it to go. Clip that on so it doesn't move around. Take your tool. Didn't quite catch the... There we go, that's better. There we go. Nice rounded edge. And again, with these ones, you can turn it this way, like so, or you can turn it, use it the opposite way, so you've got two different angles that you can use it on, because obviously it's flat. So like I said, work out which side you want it. And round. There you go. Nice curved tip. Let me get the fancier edged one, more wide ribbon. So this is the one we've just done. I'm just going to put a second one a little bit further up, line it up where you want it. round. There you go, a nice sealed fancy edge. And like I said, you could do deeper or more curved or like angles, whatever you particularly fancied. You could do like fishtail, something like that, and just completely play around and get a nice edge that you enjoy. So let me do a couple of layers on my spikes so you can see. So I've got this pink and orange. So if we layer these together, just cut them off so they're even. And we've got our deep spikes here. Place those on. Clip it in place a second. And what I also like, as you saw with my other ones, this actually seals the spikes together as well. There we go. So you've got nice spikes. And that ribbon is now joined together at spikes. Same as if you want to curve let's do a point. So if you want to do the point, work out that, make sure it's middled. There we go. Clip it in place. I also hold it so it's completely flattened against ribbon. Okay. This is my poor cutting skills sometimes with these, because I'm still getting completely used to using a wood burner more. So there you go, nice pointed look. And again, completely sealed together, nice and even. And like I said, you can completely play around. You can do all the shapes, all the sizes. You can do any looks. And like I said, it is great fun just to be a little bit crafty, which I always enjoy. Obviously, if you make bows already, you're probably already naturally inclined to do a bit more crafty type pieces. But yeah, like I said, you can play around and you can do what you like. Like I said, it's safe because obviously it's not burning the edges of the metal because it's aluminium rather than any other types of material. And you can be completely creative. If you need any more help or advice, the link to the Facebook page and group are below, and you can have a look. Another little trick that I have found, and like I said, this was partially from Bethany, who has a group that's in my Facebook page if you want any more support groups other than myself, is when I'm cleaning this, because I get a build up of ribbon. So when I'm sealing my ribbon together like this, I tend to use my straight edge ruler. I'll just place that on top of my ribbon once it's lined up and do this. There we go. So what happens is, I quite often, if I do a lot at once, so say I'm doing multiple pieces, like I've just done a flower and I've just done 25 petals in a row, I will find that I get like a build up of like cut marks and things like this. And Bethany showed me this to protect my tip in my cup where I keep it, because I don't like the little stand. I have a habit of like going like this and having mine flip over in all directions, so I keep it in this cup for that, like Bethany had advised me and suggested. And I have one of these massive wool scrub type things in there which protects the tip, stops that from getting damaged. But the other trick that I found for these is, if you do have a build of this on your craft board or on these kind of boards, what you can do take these. It also takes off glue gun from my glue, because I use this to protect my desk from glue as well. Is if you rub this all over, like so, and then wipe it down with a cloth and then dry it, it takes off all the little bits of ribbon scratches or melted bits of ribbon and all your little bits of residue like glue gun. And like I said, it's quite useful to have those for those as well. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this all useful, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.